we've just had so many issues with these benefits. Are the forms correct? Are we telling people they don't have to sign up, but then something says you do have to sign up? What's happening?
Okay. There are different rules for different groups of employees and retirees. For active employees, if you are making no changes, you do not need to complete any forms. If you're an active employee who is currently paying a spousal surcharge, that means your spouse has access to insurance. They have been notified that their spouse will be dropped as of the beginning of the year unless they bring us proof that their spouse no longer has access to insurance. New nicotine forms are not required by anyone. We will accept them if people choose to turn them in. For the retirees, for the pre-65 retirees, if they are not line of duty, they must complete open enrollment to have insurance, because we were not going to do the 100% premiums without their affirmation that they in fact wanted to pay those premiums. For post-65 retirees, again, unless there is a change that is being made, they are not required to complete any forms during open enrollment. Again, for those post-65 retirees, if something has changed relating to their spouse's availability of coverage, they will need to come in to add them back onto their coverage with the necessary documents.
Last question for you. If there is a concern or a complaint made, have you all received any of those yet?
To my knowledge, the only complaint that we have had is Ms. Triplett. That was not made to me. I do not know where in the book she's referring to. We have had people come in unsure. We have answered their questions. We go through them with them. And as we did last year, if there is confusion, we will work with individuals on a case-by-case basis to determine where the confusion may have been caused to make sure that they understand what's going on. With the exception of pre-65 retirees who lose the subsidy, everyone remains on the insurance in the plan that they're in. And the only other exception is if the spouse, right now you're paying a subsidy for the spouse, it means they had insurance last year, so they will be dropped from the insurance unless we get proof contrary.
That last question for you, and Mr. Chair, I know Ms. Triplett is raising her hand. My last question for you, can you get with Ms. Triplett about her expressed public concern and make sure that that problem does not exist, and send the council an official email tomorrow to verify that you have checked everything? Because we did have some of these similar concerns in the past, and we did find that there were some people having these problems, and we just want to make sure that...
Yes, I'll be happy to meet with Ms. Triplett in an email tomorrow.
Okay, and Mr. Chair, it's at your will. I know Ms. Triplett is being asked to be recognized.
Got a minute and 40 seconds left.
Okay, so if I understood Ms. Medizik correctly, she stated that the nicotine form, that people could turn it in when they wanted, but in red letters it states that if you do not turn it in and they don't have it on file, you will be charged the $120 regardless. So they may take it whenever you bring it, but leaving part of the truth out doesn't work for me. You're going to be charged. It says so in pretty red letters in the book. Turn the page to page 2. Ms. Medizik wasn't sure what I was referencing. And as far as if nothing changes, the paperwork that my husband signed for deductions last year to deduct it out of his paycheck has an explicit date for 1 year. So either they're not going to be allowed to get paid for the insurance, or we have to fill that out. Again, that is another piece of paper you have to fill out yearly. It states it in the book. Last year when we filled it out, you have an explicit date for how long they can make these deductions, so you have to do it again. The spousal verification form, it states in red letters, if you do not fill it out, your spouse will be dropped. So if that's not the case, then the material needs to be fixed. Also, she said I'm the only one that's complained. Y'all know I like spreadsheets. I have 42 people so far on the spreadsheet. I'll be happy to share it that have been messed up so far.
Thank you.
I know, Mr. Chair, the director is coming in.
Does anyone yield any time to Councilman Halbert? He finished, or?
I just want to make sure that we get a response from the director and the deputy tomorrow.
Good afternoon. Quentin Robinson, Human Resources Division Director for the City of Memphis. Councilwoman Halbert, in response to your question, I've been at the benefits office this week. I was there this afternoon. All that I'm observing, things are moving along nicely in an orderly fashion. Employees, retirees are being assisted. They're grateful for the assistance, and that's what I can tell you about what I've been observing this week. We will be enrolling approximately 6,000 employees and a couple of thousand retirees. And if you're asking me if 2 weeks of open enrollment with that many people are going to go off without an incident, without a complaint, I will tell you that the answer will be absolutely no. But my team is working hard. They're working diligently. They understand how critical it is to overperform. And based on my estimation and my observation, that's exactly what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it Councilman Boyd?
Not on this item.
Okay. Councilman Fullov? Councilman Fullov? You want to speak on this item?
Yes.
On her, just in general.
Here, I was engrossed in something else. I'd like to get back to the open enrollment. I never received a booklet. I never received any type of documents whatsoever to let me know, inform me that there was open enrollment, except when I came to the council meeting the last time. And I'm wondering if I didn't receive any information, what's to say that other people, even retirees, did not receive any information? Secondly, I'd like more clarification on Councilwoman Halbert's, I guess her question regarding when you were talking about surcharges and bringing in certain documentations. Could you just go over that again for me? And could someone please answer the question why I did not receive any information?